Belief does not stay in the mind. It enters identity. It shapes how people see themselves. It shapes how they see others. It shapes what they call right, wrong, sacred, dangerous, meaningful, or empty. It shapes the stories they inherit, the communities they belong to, the values they protect, and the questions they are afraid to ask. This is why belief is never only an idea. For many people, belief becomes part of who they are. It becomes family memory, cultural belonging, moral direction, personal purpose, a way of understanding suffering, a way of interpreting life, a way of saying, "This is where I come from. This is what matters. This is who I am." In the first episode of this series, we explored why human beings need meaning. We looked at belief not as an argument for or against religion, but as a human experience, a way people make sense of life, pain, morality, hope, death, and purpose. Now we go one step deeper. We look at how belief shapes identity, because when people talk about belief, they are often not only talking about doctrines, ideas, or opinions. They are talking about belonging. They are talking about memory. They are talking about the people who raised them. They are talking about the traditions that formed them. They are talking about the inner structure that helped them survive, choose, hope, and endure. This is why conversations about belief can become so emotional. When someone challenges a person's belief, it may not feel like they are only challenging an idea. It may feel like they are challenging the person's family, community, values, history, and sense of self. And when belief is tied deeply to identity, disagreement can feel personal very quickly. One of the first ways belief shapes identity is through family. For many people, belief begins before they can explain it. It begins in childhood, in prayers heard at home, in stories told by parents or grandparents, in rituals repeated every week or every year, in songs, meals, holidays, ceremonies, symbols, and moral lessons. A child does not first receive belief as an abstract system. They receive it through atmosphere, through what is honored, through what is feared, through what is celebrated, through what is forbidden, through what adults say when life becomes difficult, through how people mourn, forgive, hope, and explain the world. This early environment becomes powerful, not because the child understands everything intellectually, but because belief is attached to love, safety, memory, and belonging. A prayer may be connected to a mother's voice. A tradition may be connected to family warmth. A sacred text may be connected to a grandparent's wisdom. A holiday may be connected to meals, laughter, and community. So later in life, belief is not only something a person thinks, it is something they remember. This is why leaving, questioning, or changing belief can be emotionally difficult. It may not feel like changing an opinion, may feel like stepping away from home. It may feel like disappointing ancestors. It may feel like betraying family. It may feel like losing a language that once gave life structure. Even when a person no longer holds the same belief, the emotional imprint can remain. The songs remain. The phrases remain. The moral instincts remain. The memories remain. Belief becomes part of the inner furniture of the self. Another way belief shapes identity is through culture. Belief and culture often grow together. Religion, tradition, language, food, clothing, stories, ceremonies, and community practices can become deeply connected. For some people, belief is not only about personal conviction, it is part of cultural survival. It says, "This is who we are. This is what our people carried. This is how we remember. This is how we remain connected across generations." This matters because modern conversations often separate belief from culture too easily. But in real life, the two are often intertwined. A person may practice a tradition partly because of faith, partly because of family, partly because of culture, and partly because it connects them to a larger story. This is why belief deserves careful treatment. When we dismiss someone's belief too quickly, we may also dismiss the history and belonging attached to it. That does not mean every belief must go unquestioned. It does not mean every tradition is beyond criticism, but it does mean we should understand that belief often carries more than logic. It carries memory, identity, community, and emotional meaning. Another way belief shapes identity is through morality. Every person needs some way to decide what kind of life is worth living, what is good, what is harmful, what is fair, what is sacred, what should be protected, what should be refused. Belief helps answer these questions. For some people, moral identity comes through religion. They understand goodness through divine command, sacred teaching, spiritual discipline, or accountability before God. For others, morality comes through human dignity, reason, empathy, justice, shared humanity, or personal conscience. But in both cases, belief gives moral shape to identity. It tells a person, this is the kind of person I am trying to become. This is what I cannot do. Even if it benefits me, this is what I must protect, even if it costs me. This is what matters more than convenience. This is where I draw the line. Without a moral identity, people may drift. They may follow comfort. They may follow fear. They may follow the crowd. They may follow whatever brings status, approval, or advantage. But belief gives people a compass. And when that compass is strong, it can help people act with courage. It can help them forgive. It can help them serve. It can help them resist cruelty. It can help them endure suffering without becoming bitter. But belief can also distort morality when it becomes rigid, proud, or unexamined. A person may become so certain of being right that they stop being compassionate. They may defend morality in a way that becomes morally careless. They may use belief to judge others harshly while ignoring their own character. This is why moral identity needs humility, because the question is not only, do I believe the right thing? It is also, am I becoming the kind of person my belief claims to value? Another way belief shapes identity is through belonging. Human beings need groups. We need people who understand our language, symbols, concerns, and hopes. Belief communities can offer that. They provide shared meaning, shared rituals, shared moral expectations, shared stories, shared comfort in times of grief, shared celebration in times of joy. This sense of belonging can be deeply healing. A person may feel seen inside a community of belief. They may feel less alone. They may feel guided. They may feel that their life is connected to something larger than individual struggle. Belonging tells a person, you are part of us. You are not carrying life alone. You have a place. But belonging has another side. The same group that gives identity can sometimes create pressure. Pressure to conform. Pressure not to question. Pressure to hide doubt. Pressure to perform certainty. Pressure to remain loyal even when something feels wrong. This is where belief and identity become complicated. If belonging depends on never asking questions, then identity can become fragile. If community depends on fear, then belief may become control. If someone must silence their conscience to remain accepted, then belonging has become too costly. Healthy belonging gives people roots. Unhealthy belonging gives people chains. This is the natural midpoint of the episode. Belief shapes identity because it answers the question, who am I? But a mature identity must be strong enough to ask questions without falling apart. This matters because people change. Life Experience changes, suffering changes people. Education changes people. Relationships change people. Loss changes people. Travel, exposure, reading, conversation, and time can all change how a person understands belief. Sometimes people inherit a belief and grow deeper into it. Sometimes they question it and return to it with more maturity. Sometimes they leave it. Sometimes they reshape it. Sometimes they remain uncertain for many years. These changes can be frightening because they may threaten identity. If my belief changes, who am I? If I ask questions, am I betraying my past? If I disagree with my community, do I still belong? If I no longer believe what I once believed, what gives me direction now? These are not small questions. They can shake a person deeply. This is why doubt can feel emotionally dangerous. It does not only question ideas, it questions identity, but questioning does not always destroy belief. Sometimes it purifies it. Sometimes it removes fear. Sometimes it deepens humility. Sometimes it helps a person separate inherited belief from chosen belief. Inherited belief is what we receive. Chosen belief is what we have examined, wrestled with, and made our own. Both can matter. But chosen belief often carries a different kind of strength, not because it has no questions, but because it has faced questions and still seeks truth. Another way belief shapes identity is through the stories people tell about themselves. A person may see themselves as chosen, forgiven, responsible, fallen, redeemed, free, unworthy, blessed, punished, called, lost, awakening, healing. These identity stories matter. They influence how people move through life. If someone believes they are worthless, they may accept harmful treatment. If they believe suffering is punishment, they may carry unnecessary shame. If they believe they are forgiven, they may find courage to begin again. If they believe they have a purpose, they may endure hardship with strength. If they believe others are enemies, they may live defensively. If they believe all people carry dignity, they may act with compassion. Belief tells us not only what the world is, it tells us who we are inside the world. That is powerful, and because it is powerful, it must be handled carefully. The beliefs we carry about ourselves can heal us or wound us. They can give courage or create shame. They can open us to others or close us into fear. They can help us take responsibility or avoid it. This is why self-awareness is important. We must ask, what story has my belief taught me about myself? Does it make me more honest? Does it make me more compassionate? Does it help me take responsibility? Does it give me courage? Or does it keep me trapped in fear, shame, superiority, or avoidance? This question is not an attack on belief. It is a call to examine the fruit of belief, because belief becomes visible in the kind of life it produces. Another important part of identity is how belief shapes the way we see outsiders. Every belief system creates some kind of boundary. Those who belong, those who do not, those who agree, those who question, those who are considered faithful, moral, wise, lost, mistaken, dangerous, or different. Boundaries are not always wrong. Every community has values. Every identity has shape. But when belief turns outsiders into enemies, something dangerous begins. People stop seeing human beings. They see labels. They see threats. They see arguments to defeat. They see people to avoid, convert, judge, or fear. This is one of the great tests of belief. Can I hold my identity without dehumanizing those outside it? Can I remain committed without becoming cruel? Can I disagree without contempt? Can I belong deeply without losing the ability to listen? This kind of maturity is rare, but necessary, because a belief that gives identity should not remove empathy. A belief that gives belonging should not destroy humility. A belief that gives moral direction should not make compassion disappear. So how do we hold belief as part of identity in a healthy way? First, we recognize that belief is personal, but not only personal, it carries family, culture, memory, and emotion. That means we should treat our own beliefs and the beliefs of others with care. Second, we examine what our belief is producing in us. Is it making us more awake, more responsible, more truthful, more loving, or more defensive, fearful, proud, and closed? Third, we allow identity to mature. A person does not need to remain frozen in the exact form of belief they inherited as a child. Growth may deepen belief. It may refine it. It may challenge it. It may change how it is understood. Maturity is not always the loss of belief. Sometimes maturity is belief becoming more honest. Fourth, we practice humility. Humility does not mean having no convictions. It means holding convictions without forgetting our human limits. It means saying, I believe this matters. I will live by it. But I will also remain open to learning, listening, and treating others with dignity. That is a healthier way to carry belief. So as we close this episode, remember this. Belief shapes identity because it gives people a story, a community, a moral compass, and a sense of belonging. It tells people where they come from, what matters, who they are, and how they should live. But because belief is so deeply tied to identity, it must be held with awareness. A belief that gives meaning should also produce humility. A belief that gives belonging should also make room for compassion. A belief that gives moral direction should also invite self-examination, because the deepest question is not only, what do I believe? It is, what kind of person am I becoming because of what I believe? In the next episode, we will explore why faith can comfort and divide us, how belief can give people hope, strength, and community, but can also create separation when certainty loses humility. If this video gave you something to reflect on, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And before you leave, ask yourself this: how has my belief shaped the way I see myself, others, and the life I am trying to live?